this is 15 years ago. So the motivation back then was not what it might be now. So jogging from memory, I would say initially it was a need for food and entertainment. So we didn't have a water cooler. Back then I was registered in my undergrad for biochemistry and NATSI or natural sciences, I don't know what they call it now. Same thing, science. And we didn't have a water cooler, and we also just didn't have any food or cafeteria or tuck shops or anything like that. And so I thought maybe I should try and advocate for cigarettes because I didn't want to go 3 years without immediate food and water. And then Carnival came around, Campus Carnival came around, it was totally disorganized, and growing up really loving Carnival, I wanted to put some order to it. So the idea of, well, we should run for the Guild came from some of my friends. So that was the initial motivation, the things that motivate the students, food and entertainment. But then within a few days, it travels really fast, and people who had a little more experience in terms of geopolitics and student politics, I met, and they have since become lifelong friends, actually started to share with me the realities of student politics. And so the real decision to run wasn't so much the initial decision anymore. It became about integrity and accountability and the need for that on the Guild. So started off with food and entertainment and ended up being about the real issues of accountability and integrity and student representation. That was the first time I ran, and then subsequent to that I ran for president, winning in both elections. The first time I ran, again, having a collective of people mostly from humanities and social sciences, who was a little more plugged into real politics, I started to realize the need for transparency in student representation, and the positions of faculty rep and student activity center, which were the things that initially motivated me. There were people who were more interested in those specific positions. So through a collective, we decided that having somebody go up for a signatory position, which is one of the executive positions like the secretary, would actually be beneficial to the group, having, a little more representation for different positions. So that was the initial motivation. I didn't even think about it's an executive position at the time. It was a lot of group support. And by group, I mean students who wanted the same level of integrity and accountability. Mostly all students, mostly students who really felt affected by the Guild. A long time ago, but it was so many highs of my life and the lowest lows at the same time, because there's this euphoria and the energy and the adrenaline around running for an executive position, and being in an arena of student politics that was very far from anything I'd done before. The closest I'd probably have done that at that time would have been like sports captain or something in secondary school. So that was one thing. There was a lot of euphoria, there was a lot of highs and lows. And then there was the obvious backlash you get from entering the arena of politics on a campus like St. Augustine, where it's a reflection and a microcosm of Trinidad and Tobago politics, even though we are a regional university at UWI. So you get the race factor, the ethnicity factor, the males versus female factor, whether you lived on hall or not, all of that, adds to the experience. For president and becoming president was extremely new to a reality on St. Augustine campus. And there was the usual, very generally, often generously used tactic of trying to bring your personal life or your behavior or your choices into your campaign. Smear campaigns. I distinctly remember having some posters about me that people who supported me ended up taking down. So I actually only saw like one of them, but they were plastered all along the social sciences faculty main floor, saying that, and this is where it gets very funny and topical, right? I like chocolate, so I had a preference for dating black men or, whatever. And I didn't realize that was a thing because I grew up in a mixed home. So growing up in a mixed home, I was like, well, I just dated this guy because this is somebody that I find attractive. So that came into it. A second thing, what I remember was that a sitting member of parliament, it was not a member of government at the time, a sitting member of parliament actually commissioned the smear campaign. And so it's to show you the involvement at the time of who we supposed to call our leaders in Trinidad. Getting into student politics, grooming people, and also bringing some of the dirtiness of politics into the campus. So yeah, it's fun times. Female representation, but when you got higher up into mid-executive level, like the student activity or the publication share, it was significantly less. I would say 1 in every 9, 1 in every 10 people might have been a female candidate. And definitely by the time we got to the president, there were years without a female candidate. And the year that I ran, it was a tactic, I suppose, to distract. There were 12 or 13, it was something most candidates went up, and there was like maybe one other female in the race the year that I ran for president. And she dropped out, and there's always this, well, you're on campus. So there is this pressure for females to sort of make way for preferred male candidates. So even if you start off not being a candidate in a larger race, closer to the actual nomination, you will find that these female candidates have somehow dropped out of the race. So it has everything to do with perception of power and who is more powerful by some of the males themselves, and then what women and girls are often told. And I think also the pressure of, well, the guild has been marred by allegations of impropriety and accountability issues throughout the years. So women in general try to avoid, places where we know it's going to be a little messy. So I feel for those reasons, women have historically been less interested. And it's not, the guild by itself means it is an institution that is supposed to represent students. But in actuality and in reality, it's a space where a lot of impropriety. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it completely changed the course of my life because I came into university as somebody who was, I was very sports oriented and those were my interests. And I was a biochemistry student, so traditionally, people in medical sciences, engineering, or maths are not really involved in geopolitics. It would be people from humanities and social sciences who have an inclination into the field. So I made lifelong friends as I started to start, who were all from these other faculties, who I may not have ever met had I not engaged in geopolitics. Realizing that integrity is a core principle of how I operate. It was something my mother and my father instilled in me, but I didn't realize I was so passionate about it in terms of people who were representing me until I actually started to run for the Guild. As I said before, the initial thing was, food and entertainment. It was very frivolous in terms of my initial wanting the space I was operating in to have my conveniences. But then eventually, so friendships, lifelong friendships, there are these 5 people I would call my real sisters or brothers from that year, from that whole movement that I would never have met had we had not been on the Guild together. All of the people that I served with on my year as president, we still remain in contact. It was a really beautiful year of sharing with people student leadership. And they were from different Caribbean islands. We had some of the widest range of Caribbean island representation on our Guild. Even I had a male secretary from St. Lucia. I have to shout out Alex George Jr. Excellent representation across the board. And I was all the rest of my executive were males. We worked beautifully together, and they have been my lifelong friends. The other thing I would say is that I realized I had naivety at the time too of wanting to fix everything. You just want to fix everything. You can't reasonably fix systematic issues in a year. You can't change culture in a year. You can't even begin to crack the surface of behavior change sometimes. So I did feel slightly, disenchanted in the end, but looking back, there isn't anything we would do differently. At least I can say that with 100% confidence that we felt really proud that we left the guild with more money than we came in with it. We were able to pay debts from the previous guild. We were able to establish a couple of organizations that are still alive today, like UWI, University Student Ambassadors from the Vice Chancellor's Office, was something we did together. And as a regionalist and my time at UWI, that experience as president actually allowed me to meet a lot of people from the rest of the region, but not just on St. Augustine campus, but at the Mona and Cable campuses. And my fellow presidents, we are still in contact with each other. Floyd Green is a minister in the Ministry of Education now in Jamaica. We all maintained a certain amount of integrity in our relationships and in our lives. And I really, I'm very thankful for that time.